Good afternoon, ladies. It's Friday afternoon and I wanted to leave you with a few words this week and an exercise that you may be interested in doing over the weekend. I've done some work on this subject with a couple of coaching clients of mine this week and realised the importance of it when I did it for myself, and I think it's worth sharing with you. So have a listen to what we're discussing here and why, and then obviously decide for yourself if that's something you want to do. I want to talk to you today about values. So the values that we have ourselves and the values that we want to have in our life. And effectively your values kind of mean that they're a way of telling the world who you are. Okay, now you'll have noticed my signature on the bottom of my emails has changed recently. And instead of just signing off, kind regards, Karen, it now says truth, love and happiness. And those I have decided, after having done quite a lot of work on this exercise, decided that these are the values that best represent how I want to show up in my life. Okay, so these are three things that mean a lot to me, and they are things that I want to live by on a day-to-day basis. So they're the behaviours I want to engage in around truth, love and happiness, and that's why I've chosen to put them down on my signature, because it's a constant reminder to me of the way I want to live my life. Now, why values are so important is a lot to do with external factors and how much they affect our happiness. As you well know, things come out of the blue at us on a daily basis, a weekly basis, and depending on how we're feeling at the time can knock us for six sometimes, or can barely affect us. And the degree to which those external influences affect us is a reflection of how in tune with ourselves we are at the time. So something can happen in our life if we know exactly who we are about and what we are about, who we are and how we want to live our lives, then regardless of the external situation that's thrown at us, that doesn't change. So regardless of what might happen in terms of a loved one dying, a close family member dying, or going through a bad relationship, a divorce, the loss of a job, something I had to deal with a few years ago. If I remember that my values are truth, love and happiness, and these are the values I wish to live by, then working through that situation and having those values close to my heart gives me the strength to work through that, I guess, because I'm being true to myself as I deal with the situation. It allows us to create what we call prediction and response in a world where that can sometimes be difficult to have around us. So the nature of external influences mean that sometimes it's difficult to know what's coming at you next, but there's almost a grounding in knowing what your values are. So a little exercise that you might be interested in, and ask yourself, do I really know what my values are? You may know and live by them daily anyway. You may be very sure and grounded as to what your values are, but if you're not so sure, it might be worth doing an exercise. And the exercise that I would suggest you do is, to start with, just look up what values are and look up human values. And if you go into Google or any other search engine, you'll find lots of them. So three examples are the ones I have. You can have courage, you can have strength, you can have financial success, hundreds of different core values. To know that a core value is something that is true to you and is something that affects you internally, it should evoke emotion. So if someone says, for example, financial success, if that evokes an emotion to you, makes you feel affected in any way, then that is something that's true to you, true to the centre of you. If it's not, you want to kind of pass it by and look to another. I also look at it with truth, for example. I've lived my life on the basis that as I've gone through difficult work situations and things, although it's been challenging at times, I've told the truth in a situation where it could be easier to cover up, just to find a smoother path. And in the long run, that's always served me best. So not living by that value now makes me feel uncomfortable. And that's what I mean by evoking emotion. If I felt like I wanted to live in a world where truth wasn't at the centre of me, it wouldn't feel right, it wouldn't feel comfortable. That gut feeling doesn't feel the same. So it should evoke an emotion, and she should be able to answer the question, will living my life by this value of love, happiness, whatever it is for you, enhance the experience of my life? Will it make it better? Will it make it worse? And obviously it should make it better. If it doesn't have any impact, then again, you may want to pass it by and look at others. So start off by just experimenting these different values and then starting to dwindle them down. As you choose them, say, why have I chosen that value? What is it about that value that makes me think I want that on my list? Does it enhance my life experience for me? And if the answer is yes, that's probably a good one to have. So just have a play with that. It doesn't matter on how many you choose. I'll talk to you about how you can kind of dwindle them down over time, because to have too many values makes it more difficult to live by them on a daily basis. You want to centre around a few really, really key ones to ensure that these values are coming through in everything you do on a day-to-day basis. So for now, 20, 25, however many you want, get a list going, and then we'll return to this next week and see if we can narrow down your values a bit more. Anyway, they are mine, as you know, truth, love and happiness. I wish you all lots of love and happiness over the weekend. Have a lovely time. We've got fitness tests coming back next week if you're a fit mum. So got that to look forward to. Have a great weekend and I'll speak to you next week. Bye bye.